there. All right, good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. Can you all hear me clear this evening before we get started? Mary Elizabeth, good evening to you. Spitting Fire, I think I saw you. Good evening to you as well. Okay, thank you so much. Jacqueline, good evening to you. Brenda B, good evening. Is that cool by B or something? Nia's in the house as always. Love you big time. Thank you so much. There's Spitting Fire. She is in the house this evening. Always a pleasure to have you on the line. Okay. Um, Time's a little different tonight. We started this at 6:30. Tammy always 100, never fake. Humbly bow to you. Thank you kindly. You are welcome. You are welcome, Spitting Fire. Okay, listen. Um, I'm gonna open up by saying this. They only resign when their dirty deeds go public. Again, they only resign when their dirty deeds go public. If this had been kept quiet, you and I would know nothing about it. I wouldn't be speaking about it tonight. Dante Wright, 20-year-old black man, is dead at the hands of a white police officer. But there are so many Daunte Wrights that we don't know about. Their case didn't get any media attention or enough media attention. So many of those are in the grave. When you catch someone in the act of wrong, when you catch someone in the midst of their foolishness, one thing we should keep in mind, this is what we caught them doing. And since we caught them doing this, you can rest assured it wasn't their first time. It wasn't. We have a 26-year veteran with the police department, Brooklyn Center Police Department. This is not the first time. Officer Kim Potter has been involved in a officer fatal involved shooting in 2019. She was one of the first officers on the scene. A autistic man was shot to death. Allegedly now, she told the other officers to turn their body-worn cameras off. Her and other officers were cleared of any wrongdoing. Tammy, that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Transparency, accountability, and justice. They go hand in hand. Transparency, accountability, and justice. Before we get into it tonight, I want to give you some breaking news, and you may already have heard about it, but if you didn't, here it is. The officer that shot Jacob Blake in the back 7 times returned to work today. I think that's a slap in the face. Even if he was already scheduled to return to work today, the powers that be should have said, yes, yep, he's back on duty. The powers that be should have said, not now. I tell you what, you're going to come back, but let's do this next week. We have too much going on right now. And that only makes it worse. We have a 26-year veteran with the police department. Now, this 26-year veteran, Officer Kim Porter, who resigned earlier today, along with the police chief, he was the brother that basically said, I believe her. She said it was an accident. Well, heaven is finna testify because I'm telling the gospel. I'm telling you the truth. There is a tremendous difference in a gun and a taser. You can't mix them up. It's earthly impossible to mix them up. You can get a blind person and put a taser in one hand and a gun in the other, and they're going to tell you which is which. Most officers do not wear a taser and a gun on the same side. That's for any mix-up. So there won't be any mix-ups. The texture of both are different. The size are different. I'm going to prove to you that Officer Porter knew exactly what she had in her hand. Let us not forget again, this is a 26-year veteran. She knew what she had in her hand when she was pointing the gun at him. It was impossible for her to point the gun at him without looking at the gun in her hand. There was enough time for her to realize, oh, this is not my taser. This is a gun. You heard the officer say, taser, taser, taser. Shortly after that, boom, one shot to the chest, he dead. Well, Mr. Scott, she said taser. Yeah, she did. She said taser for one reason. That's going to be her defense in the courtroom. Arkansas is in the house. Love you big time. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. So, when I go to court, I didn't know. I thought I had my taser. I wouldn't have done that. It was so much going on. Baby, let me tell you something. When you're in the police academy, a whole lot be going on. So a whole lot of foolishness will not go on in the streets. I believe that officer thought that was a taser, like I believe the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan has a dream of his white daughter saying I do to a black man. Here's what made the matter worse. They was going to protest regardless, but here's what made it worse. When you deliberately come to the camera and you lie, that's what made it worse. You can keep giving us sugar-coated shit cookies and think it's all right, and we're going to keep taking them. You can keep pissing on our backs and telling us that ain't piss, it's raining. Tell a nigga anything. We running this. If there is any police officer in this country that cannot tell the difference between a taser and a gun, they must be immediately, that means now, relieved of their duties. This is an incident that we can't do over. We can't rewind. He's dead. In 26 years, do you know how many times this white woman felt that gun, felt that taser? Well, Mr. Scott, he was resisting. He was. He was also resisting without being armed. His resisting does not justify his death. It doesn't. It doesn't. We go from a traffic stop of an expired license plate tags to a homicide. I said it's a homicide because that's what it is. The medical examiner, the one that did the autopsy, he ruled Mr. Wright's death as a homicide. So somebody had to kill him, and we know who did. I'm going to read you something quickly. A 20-year-old black man gets pulled over for an expired sticker. Daunte Wright also has some misdemeanor warrants. Now we come with felony warrants earlier today. Okay. He had arrest warrants out for him, but he's now dead at the hands of a 26-year veteran police officer. Kim Porter says it was a mistake. She thought she had a taser in the palm of her hand. In the palm of her hand. Must have been during the time she was saying, taser, taser, taser. But it was a gun, a gun, a gun. Again, the medical examiner ruled Dante Wright's death a homicide. It was a mistake. Unfortunately, these types of mistakes we cannot afford to make on the streets. There are no do-overs. None. A person is dead. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But this wasn't the officer's first time being involved in a fatal shooting. Back in 2019, they shot and killed an autistic man. She was one of the first responding officers. They were cleared of any wrongdoing. Okay. At the time of the shooting, this officer was training a rookie. Now, earlier today, we got word that former Officer Kim Porter will probably be charged in the death of 20-year-old Daunte Wright. It's possible those charges or that charge could come as early as sometime tomorrow. More than likely, she'll be charged with second-degree homicide. There's no way on God's green earth she mistook the gun to be a taser. So now, just as they're doing George Floyd, here's what they've done to Dante. About 2 hours ago, the report came out when I saw it. Well, he had a warrant out for his arrest because he allegedly took $820 from a woman. The report alleges that Dante Wright choked a woman, threatened to shoot her if she did not hand over $820. Okay. This allegedly happened back in 2019. Dante had a warrant out for his arrest for attempted aggravated robbery. Okay. Now, here's the thing. What does that have to do with Dante being dead? Not a damn thing. It's one of the oldest tricks. Bash, bash, bash the dead person. He was a criminal. He should have been dead. He should have been off the street. He should have never been free. So when we do that, what we're saying is that I killed the nigger. I killed the menace to society. I killed the problem. What's the problem? He needed to go. He's a nobody. He was unproductive in society. He was a nigger. He was a thug, a criminal. He threatened to kill a woman. I done y'all a favor. Got the nigga off the street. I need to be a warden. That's what they do that for. But every time they do this, the results are the same. They're doing character assassination because they know they done messed up. They know this. They know this. Anyone, even if you're on this live feed, if you believe that white woman's bullshit, you're a fool with a serious problem. It didn't happen that way. She knew exactly what she was doing, without a doubt. Everybody's somebody's child. Officers must treat or should treat anyone they encounter with respect, dignity. I don't give a damn what they think about it. Respect and dignity. They set buildings on fire. They burning things. The most famous one, they looting the stores. They're taking merchandise out of the stores. They shouldn't do that. And we're not going to tolerate violence and foolishness in this city. But you would tolerate violence and foolishness from the police officers. But you will not tolerate it from blacks who are pissed off. Don't forget, we learned how to loot and ride and set shit on fire from the white man. They just mad and angry. They're upset. And people do strange things when they are upset. I don't give a damn about an inanimate object. I don't give a damn about a stove being set on fire. That's what they got insurance for. If you don't want shit to be burnt up and burnt down, I suggest you get them white bitches in line. That's what you should do. Get them white bitches in line before we have to. And if we have to, blacks, we don't have no brakes. We have zero understanding. And you would not dictate to us when to protest and what time to stop protesting and how the fuck we respond to what the fuck you do to us. That shit don't make no goddamn sense. You continue to do this and you continue to want us to shut the fuck up and take what we push out. Miss me with that bullshit. Miss me with that. Miss me with the bullshit. Everything the white man do is right. It's with reason. Nothing can justify this young man being dead. You look at every one of my videos and see how many times I did a show on a black officer executing an unarmed, innocent white person. Go to our Facebook page. See how many times I've done it there. See how many times. Write the number down. Better yet, think about CNN. How many times have you seen a white woman with a civil rights attorney sitting next to her because her child has been executed by a deranged, racist black cop? You have a number. I'll wait. Give me a number. That's no number. It don't happen. It don't happen. Someone said, T. Sizzle said, Zero, you just preached. You just preached. That's it. That's it. We value material things before we value someone's life. So what's worse, Dante dying or somebody breaking in a store, looting, and setting a bitch on fire? I mean, what's worse? If you don't like the reaction, because they always talk about the reaction, they never focus on the action. If you don't like the reaction from your action, I suggest you get your ass in line. That's what I suggest you do. It's a new day. This shit has become the norm. This shit has become business as usual. And we gotta break this shit up. We gotta stop this shit. We sitting here waiting on the cops and the system to fix the shit. That's the goddamn problem. They not gonna fix it. You would not go and try to fix something that you don't see as broken. Why would you do it? And it's running fine. You don't fix what's not broken. Police officers in this country have become serial killers, and they must be stopped. And time is of the essence. They must be stopped. Now they'll get pissed about this video and what I'm saying, but they can suck out my asshole until they get booty goddamn motherfucking drunk. I don't give a fuck. You don't tell me how to respond to what the fuck you do to us. You don't. It's a new day. We're not niggas. We're black people. We're human. I know you don't believe that shit, but we are. You have police officers coming to the white woman's defense. She's a wonderful officer. Wonderful officer. She's an officer that was on the force for 26 years. But something happened, April the 11th, I think. Something happened on that day. Something happened on that day that this 26-year veteran went berserk, went crazy. Some wires got messed up in her mind, and she could not distinguish between a taser and a gun. Something went wrong that day. Something went terribly wrong because she couldn't figure out which was which. But she managed to figure out whatever she thought she had, she managed to grab it and point it. She managed to do that. She managed to do that. Any excuse that you continue to give for this white woman executing this unarmed black man is an inexcusable excuse. Take that bullshit to somebody else. It's a new goddamn day. I love God, pray all the time. I am not finna walk the damn streets and get on my knees and pray. That shit's over. We must meet violence with violence. But you niggas who don't have a heart, get y'all ass in the back and let the black people come up front and put some of the black people in the middle, and you scary niggas get in the back. As a matter of fact, y'all don't even have to fucking show up, because you're gonna believe whatever the fuck they say. Ask yourself, why did she resign today? Not because she wanted to. Why did the chief resign? Not because they wanted to. It's some more bullshit going on that they've been covering up for goddamn years, and this shit came to its end April the 11th. It came to its end. But you go do a criminal background check on the fucking victim. You bitches make me sick. You bitches make me sick. Do a background check on them crooked ass cops. As a matter of fact, you ain't gotta do that. Do a background check on your own goddamn self. What the fuck does a dead man criminal background has to do with him being a dead man? Character assassination. We're tired. We're tired. We're tired. We're tired. Some lady, I forget her name, she said on Facebook today, she said, Mr. Scott, I'm wore out. My response, 2 words, me too. I'm wore out. Someone just said something about George Floyd case. And I'm glad you brought it up. The trial for this killer cop is not even over. Not over. It's not even over. It's not even over. Angela, good evening to you and welcome. It's not over. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. It's not. And here we meet again under these circumstances. Do you see a change come? Y'all can keep saying that goddamn Negro spiritual. I know someday a change gonna come. Oh, Lord. Someday a change gonna come. I've been hearing that shit since the day I could fucking hear and understand. a change gonna come. Well, when the fuck is the change coming? Because I'm in my goddamn 50s. I don't have much longer left on planet Earth. When will the change come? When? I'm gonna tell you when it's gonna come. When black people get up off their fucking ass and start becoming proactive. We gotta stop this shit. They love this shit. This is business as usual. Ain't a damn thing wrong. Dante should have been dead, a motherfucking trifling ass criminal ain't shit. Fuck that nigga. That's what they say. That's what they say. Sit on your ass. You can wait for that change. Sit on your ass and keep praying for that change. It ain't came yet. It ain't came yet. You can't just get on your knees and pray and say, when I get up off of my knees, God, I thank you in advance that there'll be no more innocent black people shot by cops in America. Oh, thank you, Jesus, for the hearing and answer of the prayer. Boom, 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 boom. What happened? They just killed another black man. What the fuck? You get my point? Get up, get out. Make it happen. Get up, get out. Make it happen. Before one of you all on this live feed be sitting where the parents of Daunte Wright are sitting. That's a sad seat. That's a sad seat. Hands up, hands down. They still will kill us. They still will. Cooperate. Still gonna kill us. You had the Army lieutenant the other day. As calm can be. They maced him. What the fuck did you mace him for? He wouldn't get out. And to the smart woman, you had to be white. To the smart woman who says he was stupid. All he had to do was follow their command. Let me tell you something. Your dumb ass needs to go read the fucking law. Read the law. Read the law. You will find in there, I don't have to answer to your command, and they're not in line with me because I haven't done a goddamn thing. No, we can't just say, just follow their commands. No bullshit. Give me the reason. Give me the reason. These motherfuckers would lie to drop off a goddamn dime. We pulled the lieutenant over because he didn't have tags on the car. But goddamn, in the back, right upper corner, look at the picture. What the fuck do you see? Bunch of goddamn numbers. That's what you see. They just stopping folks whooping ass. I tell you what, we know, get back to jail. I can go ahead and take it to jail. Oh, we on the slick, the bitch was begging. Don't report me, don't report me. Report him, report him. Report killer crooked cops. These badges and guns done fucked them up. And Donald Trump got the shit worse than what it has ever been. With his racist, diabolical, super stupid ass. If we don't speak up now, if we don't grab that change that we so desperately need, it's never gonna come. It's never gonna come. It's never. The mother said, he called me when they were pulling me over. And that would be his last call to his mother. They're taking us for jokes. Someone is asking about the donations. We thank you for them. If you would send them to the Cash App or the PayPal. They're somewhere on this page somewhere. I know on the banner they're up there. So it's the Cash App and the PayPal. And thank you so much. Now listen, we'll be back here again tomorrow this time. And what I mean by that is nothing's going to stop. They don't like us. They hate us. The hate that they give us. I can see if we deserved it, but we don't. We don't. Even if we're not breaking the law breaks the law to come and fuck with us. And again, to that young lady, you don't have to follow their commands. You don't have to follow their commands. A lot of people think every time the police ask to see their driver's license, they have to produce them. That's not. It's not. Read the law. Read the law. We see a lot of people say, when they're being stopped by the law, yeah, I know the law. I know my rights. 9 out of 10, they don't know a goddamn thing. They don't know nothing about their goddamn rights. They don't know. See, when you know your rights, somebody says, I've been ready to hear this kind of righteous invitation. Decent invitation. Thank you. When you know your rights, you know how you act. Go pull up the video of that lieutenant in Virginia. Go pull it up. Why was he so cool? Because, not just because he was a lieutenant in full gear. He was so calm because he hadn't done a damn thing. I don't have to get ignorant with you. I don't have to get stupid with you. And he did. But they still disrespect him. The Cash App is, of course, the $, eddiemaesboy. $, eddiemaesboy. EDDIEMAEBOY. The PayPal is paypal.me and justice got you. Paypal.me and justice got you. Thank you so much. He was cool because he didn't do anything. But yet they sprayed him. That's the way they did us in the 40s and the 50s. Mary Elizabeth said, we don't call the cops in my family. We do the correct. Baby, you need to do it. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'm in total agreement with that. I'm in total agreement with that. I am. But it's sad when you need to call 911, but you think 911 is the one that's messing over me right now. If you said what people always want you to say, if you say it the way they want you to say it, you're still caught up in that slave mentality. That's a control mechanism. They want you to say this, but don't say that. Mr. Scott, don't cuss, don't cuss. Kiss my ass. If you don't want to hear it, wrong channel. Ain't no sugar-coated shit cookies here. It's 100% truth. When truth matters, this is the channel you need to be on. It's just as simple as that. You're right. You're right. Tammy said, Mrs. Scott, get something to drink. I thank you kindly. Okay, I'm at the start because my voice is going out. We had 2 shows scheduled for this week. One was for tonight and tomorrow night. It's the story of Emmett Till. But because this is such a very high-profile, important case, we're going to have to reschedule those 2 shows. We apologize, but hopefully next week we'll get them back up. But right now, I feel this is of great urgency to get out. Thank you. Somebody put it up. Thank you, Anil. It was imperative
that we get this out and continue to speak on it, because it might be your relative next. It might be your relative next. It might be you next. It might be. Cops must be held accountable for what they do and what they don't do. I don't think an 8-year-old child would believe that lie. I thought it was a taser. A few years ago, a police officer was a friend of mine. A case just like this came up. I called him and I asked him to tell me about the taser. And he said, well, most police departments, probably all going to be the same, maybe not a few. The taser will be on your weak side, so to say. The gun will be on your good side. But then some may take the taser, put it on their leg. So I know damn well if you reach down there and pull it out, you can't never tell me you thought that was a gun. But they keep these items separate to make sure that things like this don't happen. But you're going to use it as an excuse, and you know that's not what happened. You yell, taser, 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 because your defense attorney is going to bring that up in the courtroom. She warned him to stop. She warned him to stop. Well, let me ask you this. What warned her to pull a taser out any fucking way? This was a little bitty swim dude like me. Pull his ass up out of there. He ain't going nowhere. Oh my God, I shot him. You think? This is not a do-over. They want us back in chain. They're trying to take us back past 400 years. The subliminal messages are speaking so loud, hidden racism so broad. No police officer in the United States Police Department should ever be allowed to investigate their own. No police officer in the United States should ever be placed on paid administrative leave when they are at the center of an investigation. Internal affairs must be done away with. An outside agency must come to deal with police departments. I don't need your brother, who is in attorney affairs, looking at your report just to say he looked at it and said, I find no wrong. It's a clan, it's a clique, it's a family affair. The only time they really find white officers wrong, they consider these white officers to be problems or white trash. They've been waiting to get rid of that son of a bitch. Now is the perfect time. And ask yourself this before we leave. What has worked in the past that we're no longer trying that might work now? Not a damn thing. Nothing. Police reform, defund the police departments. I love you guys. As always, appreciate you all for tuning in to our broadcast. Now, incidentally, I think he's a city manager that was terminated. Well, they allege he was terminated because of the way he handled the protest. That's a lie. The brother was terminated because the brother said, Kim Porter, put her in handcuffs. Put her in handcuffs. I would never have a job where I couldn't be me, where I couldn't speak the way I want to speak. I've never had to think outside of a box because my mind ain't never been in no goddamn motherfucking box. But if I can't say this and I can't say that, fuck that job. I'm not going to let you hold me hostage. just to satisfy the powers that be. Show us the officer's disciplinary record for 26 years. Put that out there. Investigate that shit. Talk about 2019. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about cutting body cameras on and off. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Officers have the ability to cut them on and cut them off. What the fuck you say? Well, why would they cut them off? Oh, I don't know. Before we had the police departments, there was slave patrol. Keep one thing in mind. This thing has went from family to family to family to family. And the bloodline is still the same. It might be 2021. But they want to treat you like it's 1821. They don't give a damn about you. And I don't care. But we're going to get it right. We're going to get it right. We are. If blacks want to loot the stores, I don't give a damn. Set them on fire. I don't give a damn. Do what you feel you need to do. But one thing I will say to the powers that be, try not to focus so much on the reaction, but focus a lot on the action of your office. Anytime a chief comes to the podium and defend one of his police officers that has been caught on camera, that should trouble you as it troubled me. The whole damn police department needs to be investigated. The Department of Justice need to get up off their ass and investigate every police department in the United States and record the shit while you're doing it. I want to know what you're doing. There's nothing that you can do at the academy that will stop what's going on with these cops. It's not an academy issue. It's the battlefield of the mind. You're giving a gun and a badge to any goddamn body. High school diploma? No, I got a GED. What's happening on the dotted line? And over here, Billy, hey, Billy, we don't give a damn about them niggas knocking off. We got you covered. I'll show you how to do your first report there and shit. And look, that gun right there, pan it on it. We've been doing that shit. Might be comical, but helping backing me up. It's the truth. As always, thank you all for tuning in tonight. Live broadcast. Remember, I'm not always right and you are not always wrong. I love you. Y'all have a good night.